Hello friends, welcome back. This is the third lecture on worm gears. In this lecture, we will discuss the force analysis of worm gears, friction in worm gears, and selection of materials for worm and worm wheel. And after that, we solve one numerical which is based on a force analysis. The analysis of three components of the resultant tooth force between the meshing teeth of worm and worm wheel is based on a few assumptions. See, in case of a worm wheel, when we determine the three components of resultant tooth force, that three components is based on a few assumptions. Here, the first assumption, number one, the worm is the driving element, while the worm wheel is the driven element. Second, the worm has right-handed threads. And last, number third, the worm rotates in anti-clockwise directions. Now everyone observe the figure which is shown on the screen. The three components of the gear tooth force between the worm and worm wheel clearly shown in this figure. Now one thing is, remember, suffix 1 is used for the worm, while suffix 2 used for the worm wheel. The components of the resultant force acting on a worm. Now first of all, we look out the components of resultant tooth force acting on worm, and then we look out the components of resultant tooth force acting on a worm wheel. Okay, now everyone observe the figure. P1T is equal to tangential component on the worm in Newton, P1A axial component on the worm in Newton, P1R radial component on the worm is in Newton. Now observe the figure carefully. The components P2T, P2A and P2R acting on the worm wheel are defined in a similar way. The forces acting on the worm wheel is the equal and opposite reaction on forces acting on the worm. Okay, now from figure, tangential component of worm wheel, that is P2T, is equal to axial component of a worm P1A, that is clearly shown in figure. Axial component of a worm wheel P2A is equal to tangential component of a worm, that is P2A is equal to P1T. And the last, radial component of worm wheel P2R is equal to radial component of worm P1R. In the present analysis, the expressions are derived for the components of force acting on the worm. The components of a force acting on the worm wheel can be determined by using these relations which is shown on the screen. Again, everyone carefully observe the figure which is shown on the screen, figure A, figure B and figure C. Figure A, pitch cylinder of worm, pitch helix, direction of rotation. Now in this case, the resultant force P is acting at a point D. That resultant force is resolved into two component tangential. Sorry, that resultant force is resolved into three components: tangential, radial, and axial. That is clearly shown in this figure. Here, alpha is the normal pressure angle, while gamma is the lead angle. Note that the angle alpha is in the plane ABCD shaded by the dots, while the angle gamma is in the top plane AEBF. Now these two plane represented in a figure B and C, plane ABCD and plane AEBF, which contain the pressure angle normal pressure angle alpha and the lead angle gamma. Here, resolve the normal reaction P, capital P, in the plane ABCD. Now here we consider a figure B, and from figure B, cos alpha is equal to adjacent side to the hypotenuse. Adjacent side is P suffix n and hypotenuse is P, and therefore cos gamma is equal to Pn divided by P, and therefore Pn is equal to P into cos alpha. Consider equation A. Sin alpha is equal to front side to the hypotenuse. Front side is PR and hypotenuse is P. Therefore, cos alpha is equal to PR divided by P, and therefore PR is equal to P into sin alpha. Consider equation B. Next, resolving the component Pn in the plane AEBF. In that plane, we consider cos gamma. Cos gamma is equal to adjacent side to the hypotenuse. Adjacent side is EB. EB is equal to AF, and the value of AF is axial component PA. Therefore, cos gamma is equal to PA divided by PN, and therefore PA, axial component PA, is equal to PN into cos gamma. Consider equation C. Sin gamma is equal to front side to the hypotenuse. Front side is tangential force and hypotenuse is Pn. Therefore, sin gamma is equal to Pt divided by Pn. Therefore, Pt is equal to Pn into sin gamma. Consider equation number D. From relationship ABCD, or here we just substitute the value of Pn from equation A in equation C and D, and we get the component of that resultant tooth force P, tangential, axial, and radial, in following manner. P suffix T from equation A, tangential force, equation A and D, tangential force Pt is equal to, here we substitute the value of Pn that is present in equation A, P cos alpha into sin gamma. Using this relation, we get the tangential component of the resultant force P. Similarly, considering the equation C and A, axial component PA is equal to P cos alpha cos gamma, and the last one, that is as it is, radial component PR is equal to P into sin alpha. The friction force is significant in the worm gear drive. Now everyone observe this sketch carefully. The frictional force is significant in worm gear drives because there is a sliding motion between the threads of the worm and the teeth of worm wheel, as compared with the rolling motion between the teeth of pinion and gear in other type of gears. The resultant frictional force, that is mu P, where mu is the coefficient of friction. The resultant frictional force, remember this, resultant frictional force mu p. Mu is the coefficient of friction, p is the resultant force. The direction of the frictional force will be along the pitch helix and opposite to the direction of rotation. That is clearly shown in this figure, which is shown on the screen. Okay, again here everyone observe the figure. There is a pitch cylinder, pitch helix, direction of rotation. Now the resultant force P that resolve into two component, mu cos gamma and mu P cos gamma and mu P sin gamma. That resultant frictional force is mu P. Mu P is acting at a point D on the pitch helix, and that mu P is resolved into two components. That component is a mu P cos gamma and mu P sin gamma. There are two components of the frictional force. Number one, component mu P cos gamma in the tangential direction. The direction of this component is same as that of a PT, tangential component. Number two, component mu P sin gamma in the axial direction. The direction of this component is opposite to that of axial component PA. Now, superimposing the components of the normal reaction and frictional force. The tangential force act on a worm P1T is equal to, we know the relation for that, P1T is equal to P cos alpha sin gamma plus the frictional resultant frictional force, which is in the same direction of tangential force. That's why here we add this, plus mu P cos gamma. From this relation we take P common, therefore the tangential component act on a worm P1T is equal to P into inside the bracket cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma, bracket complete. Similarly, the axial component of resultant tooth force act on a worm, that is P1A. P1A is equal to that normal reaction P cos alpha cos gamma minus frictional force mu P sin gamma. Minus sign, why the minus sign is there? Because this component is opposite to the direction of axial component. That's why the minus sign is there. Here from this relation again we take a P common, and finally we get the value of axial component act on a worm P1A is equal to P cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma, and the last component radial P1R is equal to P sin alpha. In practice, the tangential component P1T on the worm is determined from the torque that is transmitted from the worm to worm wheel. Now here we know the relation for torque. P1T is equal to 2 m(t) divided by d1. M(t) that is torque, that is in Newton millimeter, and d1 is the pitch circle diameter of worm. Okay, now here we find out the axial and radial component which is act on a worm. Here we dividing the axial and tangential component, similarly the radial and tangential component. Now P1A divided by P1T, and we know the relation for P1A and P1T, which was already discussed in this slide. Okay, now P1A divided by P1T is equal to P cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma whole divided by P into cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma. PP get cancelled, and therefore the axial component P1A is equal to P1T into inside the bracket cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma, bracket complete, whole divided by cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma, bracket complete. Similarly, radial component P1R divided by tangential component P1T is equal to P sin alpha divided by P into bracket cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma. Again pp get cancel, and therefore the radial component p1r is equal to p1t into sin alpha whole divided by inside the bracket cos alpha sin gamma plus mu cos gamma. Okay, now this is the complete force analysis of a worm gears. Now these are the components of a resultant tooth force acting on a worm. Now we know the relation how to get the value of a component of a resultant tooth force act on a worm wheel, which was already discussed in a previous slide. Now that relation is a component of a resultant tooth force act on a worm wheel. First component, tangential component. How to get the value of tangential component in case of a worm wheel? P2T is equal to P1A. Next, axial component of a worm wheel, P2A is equal to P1T, and the last component of a resultant tooth force act on a worm wheel, that is radial, P2R is equal to P1R. This is the complete force analysis of a worm gears. Thank you very much.